Hey guys, it's Nik the Booksmith. Welcome back, welcome back. I tried out something new this past weekend that I hadn't tried before, which is lino cutting for like lino prints. And I was messing around with a few different little designs, so I thought we could print these and see what they look like. So if you don't know what lino printing is, it is basically where you take almost like wood carving tools, carve out of the design what you do not want to print, and you leave raised what you do want to print. That's basically the premise. It's like a rubber stamp, kind of, but rigid. So I thought we could print these and see what they look like. Sound good? I did not have any linoleum. What I did use was pieces of cutting mat, you know, my leftover cutting mats that I have. The really thin ones didn't work very well, but the ones that have several layers on the inside, these are the ones that work better. This brand is American Crafts. I think I got it at like Tuesday morning. But anyway. So I did have some like woodworking tools, some little gouging tools. So as long as those are sharp, you just have to be really careful because I'm pretty sure that the cutting mats are stiffer than the linoleum that you're supposed to carve on because it has this vinyl coating on top. So your mileage may vary, as they say. But I have a few to try out. And I'm very new to this, so please don't judge. I do have some colors to try out. And I have one more piece of glass. I do have a couple of these frames, however. They're from the dollar store, and I thought they might be nice for getting ink on the brayer. I might be wrong. I'm wrong a lot, so we're just gonna go with that. This one is Pewter. I guess we could try Pewter. See what Pewter does. My little palette knife here to spread it around a little bit. This is just a water-based ink. It's not the oil. I'm going to take this out of the frame because it's bowing in the middle. To get the entire brayer covered with the ink. I don't know why. Are brayers like not perfectly round all the way? This is a brand new brayer and a brand new piece of glass. I'm thinking, why is the ink not sticking to some of it? Maybe I don't have enough ink. I can hear some of you out there that already know how to do this are going, oh my gosh, you gotta do this. I know, you gotta yell louder. I can't hear you. What are you trying to tell me? Maybe I need to press harder. Okay, I think that's good. I want to try my, let me back out a little bit. My die cut machine because it has a roller on it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? My little plate thingy. So, I'm just going to try this one out. This one is a very, 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 and add a few more veries on there, rustic camera. I'm going to lay that there. I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock and I'm going to lay that on top and that piece of felt. Now, let's see what happens. I've got it on the lowest setting. Too much ink. Definitely too much ink. Let me set that aside just for a minute. Just try it by hand this time. Now you gotta zoom in. Only problem with the water-based inks is that they dry out really quickly on your glass. The oil-based inks, of course, don't. It is a better impression, but it's a really bad LINOCUT, so like it's really bad, really, really bad. So let's try a different one. Where'd I go? Okay. Okay, I haven't tried this one yet at all. This is like a little, like a seed head on a weed. Let's try out this puppy. I believe this was the second one I did. There's hardly any ink on my brayer. This is some like drawing paper, just a pad of inexpensive drawing paper from the big box art stores. It's not so bad. I like picking up the little lines and bits around the outside, which is called static. I like that look. You don't have to press down that hard, I think. So this one's okay. I didn't do a great rubbing thingy on it. And I have done this one. This one's super cute. I think the third one I did. I think inking up the brayer is just as much of an art as actually cutting your design into the linoleum. You don't want too much. You don't want too little. Total Goldilocks thing. Honestly, I don't think that glass is even. Put some on this dude. Am I even in frame? Okay, good. And I would teach you how to cut the design in the linoleum or cutting mats, but I just started doing this, and so I would just probably teach you really bad habits. Search in on Google or YouTube LINOCUT prints or lino cutting or relief cutting or any combination thereof, and find somebody that knows what they're doing and watch their videos. I'm just wanting to see what these prints look like, so I wanted to share that with you. A little book press. I think it turned out really cute. I did some in black the other day. Just a few of them. Well, I did more than a few. Had a lot of ink on my glass, so I inked up several. And I thought these would be great for, you could make business cards. You could carve your own design and make business cards, or they could be gift cards to add to a gift. You could put your sentiment or your name or your business on the back. Punch a little hole with your, your hole punch. You punch a hole with the hole punch is what you do. And just string it around a vase of flowers or all kinds of cute stuff. This one I did on a bigger one. It could be folded in half and you could make a greeting card out of it. Thought that was adorable. Adorable. This one was the very first one I did. So let's try this guy out. Let me get a different piece of glass. I want to try the die cut machine again, because you would think that that would exert even pressure across the whole shebang. That's the theory, right? So what color? Well, red. Because I'll show you why. It might be hard to tell what it is at the moment. Maybe not. Maybe it's not so bad. These are Speedball block printing inks. Nothing fancy. Just cheapo from the craft store. There are much better quality out there, like professional brands. I mean, I'm sure Speedball's professional too, but you know what I mean. Like for for artists, the really expensive artist brands. I have sourced some real linoleum, the real deal, and I ordered some. So I will, when it comes, if it's wonderful, I will tell you where I got it, because it's the best price I could find, because linoleum is expensive. I guess the way they make it, you know, because it's made like linoleum with wood pulps and linseed oil, and it's the old-fashioned-y technique on making linoleum. But I guess that's not a cheap process. You wouldn't know it by seeing all the linoleum in everybody's houses, especially from the 70s and 80s. And once I lay this down, that is all she wrote. You can't go mucking around with it and change it. Hold that down and then see if we can gently roll that through. Let's see if we messed it up. It feels like it sat there. Oh, that's pretty good. It's a dragon, and he's sitting on his bum, and he's holding a book with his tail, which just kind of, he's reading. It's so cute. I might scan these in, like really, really nice ones, and make digi-kits out of the LINOCUT prints so that people can just print them out on paper instead of trying to cut it out of linoleum. Because I love you, and I don't want you to lose a thumb, because it can be really dangerous cutting on linoleum. One slip and psh, that's all she wrote, mister. Oh, this is just a piece of felt, just cheap craft store felt. So cute. So cute. Cute, right? Okay, like I said, this is the first one I carved out. What I used was the only thing I could find at the moment, which was this little gougey tool that came with a leather kit that we've had for a million years, and it's got a little U-shaped gouge on the front, and that's what I used. And this is used to like bevel the edges of leather, but this is what I used to gouge into this cutting mat. You can probably see the lines where I gouged around. And you can draw on the linoleum with Sharpie marker or alcohol markers. You can print it with an inkjet printer with black ink. And remember, if it has words on it, you have to flip it. You have to print it backwards. And then you cut out your image, flip it over, ink side down on your surface. And there are different ways to transfer an image. You can paint it with Mod Podge, like a little bit of watered down Mod Podge first. Put that image down there, rub it down, make sure it's all contacted on the top of your surface, and let that dry. And then you let it dry, and then you wet it down like with a mister bottle, like it just, and then you roll off the top layer of paper, hopefully leaving the ink on the surface, because if there's just enough Mod Podge but not too much, that will adhere to that top layer of paper with the ink on it. So when you mist down the back of the paper, you can roll off the majority of the paper without disturbing the ink too much. I say too much because you get a little exuberant and you could rub off the ink too. So, and then that way your design's on there and you don't have to draw it on there. So you can, you know, your mileage may vary on that one too. Reading Dragon, I think he's adorable. And then I had some, oh yeah, here's a piece. So this is a piece of matting, and it's for like protecting workbenches. So folks that work with like engineers or machinists, they'll use these. Sometimes they're anti-static, where if you're working with electronics, but it's basically, it protects your worktop against epoxies and resins and the different glues and chemicals and that kind of thing, or heat. Sometimes they're heat resistant for soldering. And so anyway, these are not cheap. This was, my husband brought one home that had been thrown in the dumpster at work because he thought I might be able to do something with it. I carved my own rubber stamp because it's kind of like rubber. So I think my ink's dry. Like I said, that's the bad thing about the water-based inks. Don't do this at all. This one's gonna stink because this is a horrible, there's not enough ink, I bet. I'm doing it on a wonkily surface. Try it over here. Yeah, not enough ink. I glued a piece of chipboard onto the back of it because it's flippy floppy. I had printed some just with like an ink pad, and I can't find them now. You know, of course, that would be too convenient. If I could, you know, find them, that'd be great. So that's not going to happen today. Let me get my old rag here. What it's made out of is very rubbery, and so when you're trying to carve into it, it's quite almost stringy and stretchy, and so it's hard to get a crisp line because of the material wanting to stretch as you carve into it. This one was much better because it's more rigid. But I've seen people use erasers, like big pink erasers, to carve into. Necessity is the mother of invention. We can pretty much find use for almost anything. There we go. It's more rustic than this one, I would say. Maybe less detailed. Still kind of cute though, right? I mean, I'm not gonna toss it out of bed for eating crackers. I have to go wash this off so that I can do the final print that I really wanted to show you because I really like this one. So I will be right back after I clean this up. I think this was number 4 that I did. Looked for some caricatures of Poe online to sketch from and found a few that I thought were not too difficult enough to carve, to sketch onto a block and carve. So I hope you like my Edgar Allan Poe. Fairly large. The LINOCUT is 5 by almost 7. The whole block. I don't know, I think it turned out pretty cool. I like it. So anyway, that's what I did this weekend. I don't know what you guys did this weekend. I've got a mess now. Everything I do is messy. Have you ever noticed that? I don't do projects that are tidy, neat and clean. That's just not what I do, is it? I'm good at messy, not that great at neat and clean. I think this is getting dry. But I might be able to do one more dragon. We'll try a green dragon. Since I have this ink, I'd like to get into some of the reduction prints and maybe some of the multicolor prints as well. Oh, this is just one of my little polymer stones I made. And I was looking for something to rub the back of the paper down. This became a pretty good candidate. Rounded, it won't gouge the paper, I hope. There we go, there's one. Maybe I'll be able to get a couple more. And I will let you all go so you can get back to your life today, whatever you're doing on this day. And I would show you a book I'm working on. I'm going to have to put that for another video because I don't want to get ink all over it. That would be a shame. So I will show you that in the next video. Show you the book that I've been dilly-dallying on for too long. I need to get it finished. So I will do that. I will get it finished. But I will, if I don't get it finished before the next video, I'll show it to you anyway. Sound good? Alright guys, I'm going to finish this up and then clean up my mess. And then I'm going to go get something to eat because I'm starving. Starving. And thank you guys for hanging out with me today and watching me make a mess. And if you know anything about LINOCUT prints or any kind of relief prints or anything like that, and you see me doing something horrifically wrong and backwards, which is probably going to be most of this, so yeah, just let me know. Just holler at me and tell me I'm overlooking the obvious like I usually do. And oh, one thing I do want to show you real quick. Going to be a new digi kit, and there's one more on the page, but I don't know where it is. Starting the mid-1800s, so early Victorian era, even before, but they started getting popular, were trade cards, and they would be just little printed cards, and then they would have either a calendar on the back, or they would have verbiage about, you know, whatever product was being sold, you know, little pickles. So there's Heinz Pickles verbiage on the back. And some thread, some Clark's thread. This one, of course, well, it's a typewriter. Duh, right? Offices for the Smith Typewriter Company on the back. And then there's another one. It's got coffee, but I can't find it. And then there's this one. And this one was kind of special because it's a dictionary, but it opens up to tell you about the Funk and Wagnall's standard dictionary. It's so cute that it closes at the back of the book. It will be printed, so you can print it front and back if you'd like. It's going to be 2 separate pages, but they'll be also in a PDF so that you can just run it through Acrobat and print it front to back easily. The back side images are going to be slightly larger than the front side images, in hopes that if your printer is a little off, the back side being a little bit bigger will compensate if it shifts a millimeter or two. And another thing, of course, you can always do is ink around the edges, which, you know, after you cut them out, you can always ink around the edges. And Distress ink hides a multitude of sins, does it not? By the time this video goes up, I will put those up. So if you like those, they'll be there. I hope everybody is having a great day wherever you are on this planet. Always remember to be kind to one another. You don't know what kind of a situation another person might be in, especially right now during the pandemic. Whatever the case may be, we never know what somebody else is dealing with. So spread some kindness, and I will see you all really soon in the next video. Bye, guys.